can't do this.
It's recording.
It's yeah, but can you just give me?
Well, I just wanted to give a quick little
My
listen.
hands are shaking.
That's fine. So.
Good morning, people in the.
Or good afternoon. Good evening, possibly.
People in the right tropic or not hemisphere. That doesn't. What governs the time?
Time
Is your
zone.
east to west, right?
Yeah, your meridian.
Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure.
If you're on the prime meridian, that would be an early good afternoon from Greenwich.
Well, I actually haven't changed my watch since the time I watched since I was last in England. So good morning. It's morning in my head.
But I actually never changed my watch, so it could be afternoon in summertime, but it's not summertime, so good day.
So welcome. Well, this is Capsule Mouldings, episode 94.
Mm-hmm.
This is your favourite topical current affairs weekly show.
Yeah, it's actually my second favourite. My favourite is topical cream because I break out in rashes sometimes.
My favourite is my favourite atopical show.
Ah, yes. Your atypical.
It's your typical atopical
Castorama.
caster. Yeah. It's a caster drama. It's a broadcast.
It's a cast of players.
It's a yeah. It's a
It's a cast
it's a
of
moulding.
a shape. Yeah.
We've essentially hollowed out the shell of another podcast, and
yeah, we've taken a dead show and we've just crammed life.
We've
into
taken
it.
a dead show and stuffed it like a.
We took an exact
taxidermy.
copy of it using a form of plaster, and now we've poured our liquid hot banter into it.
Mate, you don't have to get so technical about
and
it.
Spun it around in a centrifuge.
Yeah, we've hulled out all of the flesh of the grain.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're just left with nice white bread.
Yeah, it's not healthy for you, but it's good.
Yeah, yes, that's the perfect tagline.
Yes.
You know,
It's not healthy.
just like Capsule Mouldings, everything in moderation.
So yeah, this is your favourite topical weekly, bi-weekly, sometimes monthly.
Well, yeah,
show.
it's weekly, but obviously we had a bit of a hiatus.
Yeah, I'll give a bit of a background on that one. So we had to actually move locations, which is usually a very lengthy process. As you might have known, we were coming to you from our submarine lair previously. But unfortunately, you can probably hear my voice is a little bit rough. I got ill. In fact, I actually caught emphysema.
Shit don't crack.
When I was in there. So we are now, we have moved location. Mr. Fiat very kindly has provided us with a dirigible hovering over Qatar.
We're in a dirigible above Qatar.
Yeah, an interesting word, dirigible. I'd never actually said it before today, even though we moved in a week or two ago. I just never actually bothered to mention what we were in. So it's dirigible, but you might think it's derry-gibble.
Derry-gibbles.
I mean, derry-gibble sounds
He's the pilot.
Sounds like the pre-evolution.
Derry-gibbles is the pilot. Actually, is anybody flying this thing?
I mean, no, I thought it was on autopilot.
It's
on
hovering.
Auto. No, it's on.
It's on auto. Yeah, we're just going around in a circle.
We're anchored down. We've cast anchor.
Even though Qatar is one of the kind of most exclusive, smallest country, most money, the airspace is actually like bottom dollar.
Yeah, it's because we're not paying for it because I don't know we're here.
We're not paying a thing.
Fiat did some dodgy dealings.
Yeah, we're above Qatar, and you have just gotten over your Qatar.
Yes, indeed.
Thank you. We made it work.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't understand that joke before this morning.
Yeah,
but here we are, making puns.
Yeah, it took us
coming at you.
We've been writing the script all morning.
Yeah, I mean, several. Whilst the whole moving process, actually, several weeks have gone into this.
We wrote the script, and immediately before coming in here, we threw it away.
Yeah. I also threw away the backup script, which was probably the worst mistake. And
I also have deleted all of the
fly.
podcasts that we plagiarized to bring this to you
which
today.
Is none of them, because we've never plagiarized anything.
So, let me look behind me. There's a beautiful view of some hills behind me. It's a nice clear day.
It is, yeah.
It's nice clear. It's cold up at this altitude. So I have no idea what the conditions are on the ground. Yeah, as expected.
There's kids waving at us, which is always fun.
There's a
We're
whole
ignoring
herd
them,
of
of
goats,
course.
all waving their
their
cloppers.
So on the subject of Fiat,
Fiat.
A lot of people
It's
have.
Fiat.
We've had a lot of requests for Fiat to come back on the show. He's a cantankerous fellow, but he's he's lovable at his core.
He's rigid and unbending,
Yeah,
except under enormous pressure.
he's an ingenious fellow.
He's a genius. Is an igneous fellow.
But unfortunately, Fiat could not be with us today because part of one of his many double lives.
He's got many things to do.
Many things to do. First and foremost, he's a geologist.
When you met him, he seemed like he was your standard kind of landlord
Yeah.
with
Money
nothing,
grubber.
not good to do. Happens to
Right.
own some properties.
Turns out, almost off mic, his character has developed more than it could do when he was in the show, and that's because he doesn't like to talk about himself very much. But as I said, he's an ideologist, geologist. He's a landlord, but he's also an actor, and he's currently starring in the West End production of Lord of the Rings as Mount Doom.
Yeah, it takes a lot of patience.
Yeah, it's a craggy job, but someone's going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, being the backdrop is probably the hardest part.
The most impressive
to
thing is
play.
that they haven't had to use any other set pieces. He takes up the whole stage. He's almost able to metamorphosize himself. Into
Neither of
different
us
shapes.
have seen the show.
No, I've refused actually.
We read the books.
He
and
bought
I
me
think I think we've gotten it.
He bought me a ticket, and I threw it out the dirigible.
Yeah.
I said, "Get
Yeah.
your sweet talking out of here."
Gave it to Derry
This is
Gibble.
a business arrangement.
We gave the tickets to Derry Gibble for a kind of just
Terry Gibble,
Terry because he's not getting
a thoroughly
he's not
fun
getting
man.
paid and he does not exist.
No. Yeah, so that's sort of where he is. Just to explain.
Yeah, well, I mean, yes, he's got several projects, and he can't obviously always. He is very attentive, considering like all of his other. He was first and foremost a geologist.
Yeah.
Now he's a I'll say actor.
Yeah.
In theatre,
Quote unquote actor.
He has a YouTube company called Ideologies, where he likes to talk about social justice and intersectional feminism.
Yep.
As well as making a monthly appearance on the podcast Trans Blender.
Yeah, which is an LGBT cooking show.
Yes.
Yeah, good fun. So I think we should take a moment.
And it's all opened by the I've just seen on my notes that we need to mention Fiat Petroleum as it kind of it is in the hierarchy. It is at the top.
Yeah, this is how we made his fortune,
Multinational
of course. Big
corporation.
oil.
Fiat Petroleum, hence dirigible over Qatar.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the subject of things we need to mention, we should obviously take this moment to talk about our sponsors.
Welcome to the sponsored part of the show. It's time to pay the bills.
The talk where we talk about our fake sponsors.
It's time to pay the bills of which we have none.
Supporting capitalism.
Cash. So, of course, we've been sponsored for several years now by Borrowbean.
The oldest and the best.
Yeah. If you're looking
You don't
for a
know
rough
them,
trader,
but you love them.
there's nothing fair about this trade.
Yeah. So Borrowbean, they're the only they're the main company that uses the rough trade. It's a new way of dealing with farmers and produce, especially in developing parts of the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's almost exclusively poached under cover of darkness.
Yep. Yeah, so it's called Borrowbean. Stolen bean would be more correct, but that doesn't roll off the tongue.
They don't give the beans back.
No,
It's
so
up to
basically,
you.
this cup of coffee I'm got
drinking
right
a nice
now.
hot cup of Borrowbean.
Yeah, so this cup of coffee that I'm drinking right now actually marginalised a farmer so much to the point that he had to declare bankruptcy. But it only cost me 2p per cup. So who's the real winner? Not the farmer.
It's coffee sans the ethics.
Yeah, absolutely. They don't just do coffee; it's any kind of beans. Basically, they're bean-related fellows. Baked beans stolen from a British farmer.
For some reason,
They even steal the
it's
tomato
a bean
sauce.
thing. I think that they're kind of really dedicated to the bean thing.
Yeah.
And while it's quite impractical,
It is quite impractical.
They're sticking to it. But just make sure when you bet make sure it's got the rough trade logo on it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not real rough.
Which
rough
is basically
trade.
a
It's not
farmer
real
and there's a middle
borrow
finger
bean.
pointed at them. If you don't borrow beans, then your coffee's costing you too much.
Yeah, you got that one from Rhymies.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Got your Rhymies.
Yeah,
your
well,
Rhymies. Rhymies
We can't talk about
dictionary.
Rhymies anymore since the lawsuit.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, edit that out.
Good afternoon or good morning. My name is Stanley Flembach, and I would like you to come down to my burger place. It's called Half Dave Old Burger, and it's on the High Street. Any High Street. Just come down. We've got all the kinds of animals, you know, gopher and anteater. Nothing endangered, though. Nothing. We've got excellent standards of food hygiene for Indonesia.
Yeah, editor Gianna, please.
Yeah, Gian, wherever you are, please do your for once.
He's
do your
looking
job.
at me like he's just saying, "I can't hear you," which I know
Yeah.
is true. So. Excellent. So yeah, borrowing beans, ruining lives.
Borrowing beans, fucking the system.
Yeah,
Borrow beans, regressive.
very aggressive. Back to the old ways of the empire.
Yeah.
Excellent. So we'll move on to our first segment of the show.
First segmento.
The first segment of the show is the Digestive Digest, aka Bowel Bant.
Oh, it's the return of
return,
of
yeah.
Balban.
Nobody wanted
This is
to see
David's.
it come
This
back.
is David's like pet segment.
Yeah, we want to talk about
We.
I want to talk about what everybody does, the digestive process. You know,
And I mean, we can link this into Borrow Bean. in
when
a
I
way.
have a meal, I like to, and half an hour later, my previous meal comes out. So you work with on like a clockwork based system. You know, it's like you put something in the bank, something else has to come out.
it's a timekeeping thing.
It's in and out.
It's a time. It's more of a time management thing.
Yeah,
for
absolutely.
David, and for myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty regular. I'm usually about 3 meals ahead.
Yeah. I like to keep some in the bank sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a borrowed bean cup of coffee will flush out any meal. I'm realizing now that while on paper this section seemed light and fun, it's kind of disgusting actually to talk about. So I'm not going to linger on it too much.
All I have written here is Balban coming to you through the small intestine.
Yeah.
that's
Shout
all I'm
out
gonna
shout
say
out to
about that.
Vili and Micro Vili.
Shout-
Just, doing the job, making the surface area where it counts.
Shout out to the proton pump.
Yeah, the proton pump.
Yeah, producing stomach
like-
acid, and
The
it's the first
the
stage.
Japanese carb production.
N-
company.
no, are they Japanese? Is proton
I'm
Japanese?
I could be. It's Asian.
It's
I don't have enough knowledge to say yes or no, and in fact, I don't know.
no. Okay.
I maybe could be.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know that.
a shout out to proton pump inhibitors. You've saved me on many an occasion. What's one for the audience to look up and possibly get prescribed, depending on if you're a
And
heavy
possibly
drinker.
one of the presenters to look up as well. Not going to name names. All right, that was.
Let's close Balban.
yeah, the Digestive Digest coming to you probably never again.
We had
I
to
hope
stop.
you enjoyed it while it lasted.
We had to stop.
The
because of
jingle is
the,
better than the segment.
Our intern was making faces.
Yeah.
So you can maybe be able to hear some.
Some scrabbling away. So
Some
we've
tap,
got
tap,
our
tap, tap, tapping away.
We've got our intern here, Evangeline Lizzie,
Yeah.
in the room.
Yeah.
She's currently writing my memoirs.
She's-
I should mention, by the way,
She's currently drawing a picture of
something
me.
that we haven't actually covered on this episode so far. My name's David. My co-host name is
My.
it's my.
It's my.
That is my alias, of course, Dave.
Yeah. My real name, however, is Baron von Stauffenberg.
Yeah, we did used to
We
have.
play down the aristocracy of the whole thing.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had to let Drakkar Ferocious go.
We had to Drakkar Ferocious has moved on.
He had too much money for us.
He's moved on to possess the next fool,
Yeah, absolutely.
along with Pazuzu.
So yeah, I'm Dave. This is Mike.
Welcome. No, it's not Mike.
Oh my.
Yeah.
May.
Thank you. I have a
Pokemon
name badge
Trainer
that
May.
says Mike, but Pokemon Trainer May. Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to the show. I hope you've enjoyed the segment so far.
I hope you've enjoyed the longest intro segment.
It's actually not over yet.
is not over
Does
yet.
it? Yeah.
Now let's start the show.
Yeah. Cut. Is that your impression of the jingle?
That's my
Do you remember the jingle?
improvised jingle.
I'm gonna cut it in again. Just
Should we cut it in a second time there? I did actually sing it.
It's
even
so
though
good that you want to hear it again and again, right?
Yeah. There's the backstory behind the jingle, actually.
Yeah, not for today.
That's for a later show, though.
Yeah, we actually already covered that on episode 18. So
Yeah.
go back into the archives that we did lose if you want that.
But like once yearly, we like to discuss the lore of Capsule Mouldings, just for the noobs.
Episode 0 was dark.
We call it like the noob tube.
You call it the
It
noob
rocket
tube.
launches us into history. 1v1 me, bro.
I'll 1v1 you with a noob tube any day.
Okay.
Any day.
I know you will.
Noob tube cross the
I know
map.
you will
That's my
because you
move.
can't fucking aim.
Ooh.
Sorry, for swearing there.
Yeah. Sorry for our younger audience.
Yeah, you can swear.
Yeah, you can all swear when you listen to this show. Just like, that's amazing. You know,
Eventually,
sometimes you have to
Lizzie only speaks in swear words.
Yeah, that's true. But she looks like she wants to say something.
Now
and
she's
I implore her
embarrassed.
not to say anything. She's
Now
obviously
she's
not on a mic.
Now she's
she doesn't
embarrassed.
realise.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is actually swearing us right now. Thankfully, though, she's partially mute, so she's just making a very high-pitched whine.
She's coming for Gian's game. She just flipped me off.
Oh, damn. Okay. Would you like to introduce the next segment?
It's time for... We skipped a week with it, but it's time for... Story Street.
Anecdote Alley.
I think... No, we got evicted. It's now Anecdote Avenue.
Oh, yeah, we had to move to a less...
Had to take another
a less
avenue. on that one.
amicable.
It's Story Street.
The neighborhood's a bit rough now.
Shortcake Story Street.
Yeah. So, would you like me to take it away with my anecdote for the week?
You go first because you'll give me some ideas.
Yeah. So,
for our completely historical.
So this is
stories.
something which happened to me just over the Christmas break. I was in Tunbridge Wells. I went.
How'd you get there?
I travelled there by
Dirigible.
roller skate.
I mean,
I got dropped off in Dover.
Just like, dude,
Took me several days.
can you? You've really like lost badly already.
What?
Can you just start again?
Okay.
Can you answer? Just say you drove because I know you drove.
Yeah, I was wearing roller skates while I was driving.
Okay.
No, okay. I drove to Tunbridge Wells, and I was just having a bit of a walkabout through the town centre, and I actually got slightly lost. I ended up taking a wrong turning down a weird alleyway, and I wound up in Tunbridge Wells, Chinatown, which is not something that I knew existed, actually. It was very strange. Suddenly there was lots of smog in the air. I was in a very narrow alleyway filled with shops selling Chinese food. There was knickknacks and curios.
Did you? I mean, are you sure you didn't kind of
All the writing
step
was
into the wizarding world?
It's possible I stepped into Chinese Diagon Alley.
Yeah.
I can either
Chayagon Alley.
I didn't know what was going on either way.
It's just you swap out the eye. It's just Dragon Alley.
I was walking through and I found a shop with some interesting, bits and bobs, and I sought to take refuge in there.
Sort of a kind of monkey's paws and
all that sort of things. Jars with no lids that you could put your hand in. Your hand would just go down endlessly, even though the jar was only very small.
Infinite extension charm.
All sorts of things.
To keep with the theme.
While I was in there, I came across an ancient mystic who was sitting behind the counter.
Did he sell you a mogwai?
Listening to Radio 2. And no, he didn't actually sell me any mogwai. They were out of stock, unfortunately. Well, maybe fortunately for us, because we all know how that goes.
Give him a splash.
So
give him a splash. The stock's back in.
Yeah. So he was.
Shout out to 1984's Gremlins, starring Zach Gallagher and Phoebe Cates.
Yeah, sorry, just a quick word from other sponsors.
Number two Christmas
so this
movie
ancient
behind Die
mystic,
Hard.
he looked at me and he said, "I see in you great fortune. If you'll give me the opportunity, I will tell your future."
Mm-hmm.
And I said,
"Can you do the accent though? Can you make it as racist as possible?"
He said, I see in you great fortune.
Okay.
And
you're very, very careful.
Yeah, and he was twiddling his mustache as he said it.
Yeah.
And I said, absolutely. So he took me in
for free.
He took me in through a veil of incense cloud.
The payment come at the
No,
end?
he actually offered it to me for a small fee. He said, if
he
transfer me £5.50 on PayPal.
You have to let him dry clean your suit.
Yes, it was a weird arrangement. Anyway, took me through the back room and sat me down. And what he did
Locked
was
the
he
door.
read my tarot through a Chinese crystal ball.
He read your tarot for filth.
He read it for Phil through a Chinese crystal ball.
Okay, so he used it as a kind of magnifying lens.
Yeah, no, he saw everything that would happen in my future.
He
and
played the tarot cards like a European.
He told me
kind of
everything that
fortune
would
teller
happen
would do.
in my life.
However, he did it. He looked through a Chinese crystal ball.
Yes,
just to read it.
absolutely. That's exactly what happened.
Okay, and but when he read it out to you, he was simply reading the tarot cards as they lay.
No, he interpreted them to tell me my future.
He
With
put
100%
he put a
accuracy.
spin on them.
Yeah,
There
no, he
was-
told me
There was somewhat of a local
completely straight
dialect.
up, and I know that he was correct.
Okay, well, tell me, what did he say?
But that's another story for another time.
yeah. And it's that
Yeah,
anecdote.
that's the anecdote.
That is an incomplete anecdote.
No, that's the whole story. The story is that I wound up in the Chinatown of Tunbridge Wells, and an ancient mystic told my story.
And he told
future
me that
for
I would be
£5.50.
recording all of this one day.
Yeah,
I would be.
he actually
putting
wrote the script for that section.
I call shenana bullshit on that one.
Again with the rude language.
I call bananas.
You call
Whoa,
bananas.
whoa.
Well, hey there.
Hey, this is a family. This is a
Hey, look.
Christian broadcast.
My story is backed up by ancient Chinese mystical power.
So what? The story's not ancient though.
No, the story
Or is there a historical?
everlasting.
Is there any actual historical record? Oral tradition passing the story through hands,
Well,
generation
He who
after generation.
writes history makes the history. So this is what I'm saying. What happened?
But where's the time travel part coming?
That's another story.
Is
for
it more
another time.
figurative?
No, well,
It was
I
more
didn't
of a
travel through
figurative.
time.
It was more of
per
like a
se.
kind of like travel through time and visit Tunbridge Wells' Chinatown
Yeah, absolutely. And that was
to
it.
travel back to a more
I think don't look into it too much. It is what it is.
Travel back to a more ethnically segregated Britain.
Excuse me, sorry. I'm still recovering from the flu that I caught. The emphysema.
Gian, get it. Snip, snip, Gian.
Right. But yeah, that's my anecdote. That's my story.
Okay.
Take it or leave it. Is it true? Is it not true? Well, it is true, obviously.
Well, okay. Well, I mean, pass the story stick over to me.
Okay. Oh, it just hit the wall.
Okay. No, don't worry. Rebound.
You can pick it up.
I'm just gonna put on the storytelling glasses.
That was
There are sunglasses actually. So
yeah, it's very dark in here. I mean, I don't know why you're wearing the sunglasses.
we're in the sky,
Yeah, but we have all the windows shut.
but it's nighttime.
Yeah, it's a fair night.
Good morning. So it's my turn for anecdote. Story Street. Sorry.
Anecdote Avenue.
So what are the odds that my story is going to involve being on the high street and bumping into somebody? Because that's exactly what it's about.
I mean, pretty high, I would say, based on that
so
introduction.
So I was recently. It was actually over the holiday period, and I was idly shopping, basically, like just walking around all the shops looking for gifts, but more seeing things that I wanted myself. And on Grove Road, there's a record shop. I think there's two record shops. Actually, and I went in there and I was just thumbing through the vinyls. I don't have a record player, a vinyl record player, but I just want to have one so I can put it up on my wall.
Oh, you were just doing it for appearances.
I was just purely for appearances.
Did you tell the guy that you had a vinyl player?
Well,
like,
no,
yeah,
here's
man,
the
I've
thing.
got
Okay,
a
here's the thing. I was
sweet
looking at a
1980s
record. I was looking at
Soundex.
a record, and I was thumbing through like the electronic music, and I found a record, the album Infraguest by one of my kind of old favorite IDM artists, Pear Squasher.
Oh, underrated or overrated?
Well, underrated
Of course,
because like nobody
of
fucking
course.
heard of them, or at least not that many people. But the actual the thing is, the album itself has his face on it. This Infraguest. The cover is just like a straight up headshot of this guy, and which leads into the next part of the story is that Pear Squasher actually was in the record shop with me.
Oh, he was in there.
Yeah.
Oh, you met Pear Squasher.
I met Pear Squasher, but I wouldn't. But the thing, I like.
I mean, I would have been
seen,
too nervous to say hello.
I've seen the picture before, but I wouldn't have recognized him if I hadn't have actually looked at the. If I hadn't actually saw the record and immediately before seeing him, it's like it's obviously not like, it's not that crazy because we know the guy. We know the guy lives in like in and around central London, and to see him in a record shop, like obviously a musician isn't totally within the realms of possibility, but I kind of fudged the conversation a little bit.
Oh. Did you mention the third album incident?
Did I mention his horrendous third album?
Yeah. Did you mention the Smosh Melon?
What?
The Smashed
I
Melon.
haven't listened to that one.
Oh, that was his double album.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, they actually expunged it from the records because it was so bad.
I like what you're saying, but like people really need to like actually listen to these records.
There's actually a lot of deeper meaning. Yeah,
like
Pear Smasher is great. It's just that third album is trash.
Dude, Pear Squasher.
Oh God,
dude, what the fuck?
Oh, Pear Squasher.
You're making
I was
it
thinking
seem
of
like
Pear
it's.
Smasher.
You're making it seem like it's made up and it's not.
No, sorry, I was thinking of the the hip hop artist Pear Smasher.
Our album Infraguest. That's one of my favorites. My other favorite is Soft Abnormal Father, with this, and it's got the songs 99 sections and Functional Filibuster.
Functional Filibuster, yeah.
It's a 9 minute.
It's
track.
really great when you've got nothing else to say.
It's like a 9 minute drum and bass track.
Yeah,
and
but it always feels like there should be something else playing.
The end and the beginning are the same. That's yeah. So I was talking to him, and I think I ended up just like kind of talking about other artists when really what I wanted to talk to him about what he was up to, because he's not released anything recently in the last few years,
right?
And I was like, oh, what are you doing in here? Looking for some inspiration or something? And that already got me kind of a sour look.
Yeah, like I'd gone off Pear.
Ugh.
Did he give you the Pear Small?
Yeah, he's actually
His
been working.
Pear stare.
He's been working for Copperberg, making the trampling all the pears.
He's good at that.
He's been
back in the 60s before he got his job at the record studio that launched off his career. Yeah. He was in fact a pear stamper. That's sort of where he took influence from his name from.
Anyway, it was like I was trying to play it cool, and I did the opposite. It was like about a 60-second conversation, and then I left without buying anything.
You didn't even get an autograph.
For fuck's sake!
Oh no!
I literally had the record right there.
Literally, you just said you were holding it.
Hold on, let's just eBay Pear Squasher signed record. Actually, oh shit.
It could have.
I wouldn't have sold it. I wouldn't have sold it though.
But as you can see, it adds nearly £4 to the value of the record. So
that's £4 more than I have.
£4 in your pocket,
That's £4 more than I'm being paid today for this. Thank you, Borrowbean.
You're being paid for this today?
The thing about Borrowbean is they also. Hold on, we just had a message from the intern. yeah. I need to open the cabinet to get a pencil sharpener, and the door goes ping. When you open it, can you cut it? Well, definitely not. Just get it. Oh my God, get your fucking pencil sharpener.
I'm not really sure.
You're not getting paid for this.
Yeah, our intern has a lot to learn about podcasting. Oh my God.
She doesn't know how to make a cup of coffee.
She's very angry now.
She's giving me... Oh, she pinched me. Ow.
Wow.
P.S. You froze my laptop. Well... that's our laptop for a start.
That's the company's laptop
that you were using, and it is, and it's, by the way, it is about 10 years old, so that's why it froze. There's nothing I did. Thank you very much. Now stay quiet. Oh my God. Can you?
Okay.
Can you dock an intern's pay?
If anyone wants, if anyone is interested in being an intern, we are now looking for a new one.
Yeah, we are now accepting applications.
Yeah, we're now. Please send it into intern@capsulemouldings.org.
Can you just send it to a free post?
Just make your call to 0800 I want to be an intern. mold that capsule.
With the address, it's less about the actual location and more about the sentiment you put behind it. And
Yeah, I mean,
that's a
obviously
very
we're in a
important
dirigible,
part.
so we don't
We're
actually
gonna
have a
read,
PO box.
We're going to read the address. It's the first thing we're going to read, obviously, when we receive it. So we want that to have the most impact.
Yeah, so just put a message in a bottle and we'll send our answers on a postcard.
And we'll use the kindling to warm our feet in the winter. In the winter, which it is now.
So
It's been the winter. So it's been the winter.
So basically,
It is
you
the
met
winter.
Pear Squasher.
I met Pear Squasher.
And it didn't go well. You didn't get an autograph.
No, every time I meet a famous person,
Did he say
I've
if he was
ever
going to
met-
be doing a new show?
a new show?
Yeah, like going back on tour.
He didn't say very much. He was kind of like taken aback actually that I recognized him, and I was like, "Well, this is like a record shop with a huge electronic music section." So at least he wasn't looking for his own records.
Yeah.
Trying to buy some to sell them on tour.
Wonderful.
Yes, every time I meet a famous person, I've like fuck it up so badly. Like I try and I'm like trying to create a moment with that person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let me put on my best gravitas and just see if I can, this person can see how awesome I am from like this interaction. And I just like bottom out every time and just leave.
Yeah, it always happens to me too. But the only time I've ever met a celebrity, I met Lionel Richie and I spilled coffee all over him, and his bouncer took me out.
You spit coffee or tea?
It was coffee, and he said, "How dare you not pour tea on me? You're a poor example of a British stereotype."
He said,
"Jimmy, go get him." And then his bodyguard.
He said,
just
"Hello, is it
rugby
tea you're looking for?"
Okay, so we're going to move on to the next segment of our podcast today, which is the scientific method, aka precautionary principle, aka
Infoblast.
boom. All
Info
right.
dump.
Take it away, Mai.
Info expulsion. Okay, well, let's keep this like short and sweet because we don't want Gian to cut in again because he is so. He's just such an idiot. He just doesn't understand anything we're saying.
It's almost like he can't hear us properly.
This is how intelligent his favorite segment is. Anecdote Alley.
Yeah, he actually believes it.
If you're sitting at home and your favorite segment is Anecdote Alley, like, please just never listen to the show again.
Yeah, I mean, Anecdote Alley is the section you have to get through to get to the good bit of the podcast.
Yeah, we only do it because Burrowbean insists.
Yeah, we don't get paid if we don't give at least.
We
two
don't get paid
anecdotes.
anyway, but we definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Fiat
don't get
doesn't
paid.
get paid if we don't. Do
Yeah,
Anecdote
Fiat
Alley.
doesn't get paid, and Fiat won't listen.
Fiat don't get paid, then we don't make this show. Another rhyme from Rhymies.
So, the thing I'd like to share with you today is it's about something to do with debating arguments. It's a type of logical fallacy called an etymological fallacy, and it's a genetic fallacy, which it just means that it's something that uses the something's origin or history and uses it, to propose an idea, to propose an argument on its current context. And obviously etymological, it is what it sounds. It's when you use a word's old meaning, essentially, a word's etymology to, like it has relevance today, even though language has obviously been, continually evolving and changing its meaning throughout history. An example is the word decimation currently means obviously to destroy, to take something down, but the root word is the decipart. What it really originally meant was to reduce something by 1/10. You understand that, David? You're my yardstick for the audience.
I spaced out there. I'm not.
Can
gonna
you
lie.
just repeat all of that back to me?
There's a pigeon outside in a tree, and he's taking up most of my attention.
Etymological.
So the word decimate comes from deci, which means to remove something by 1/10.
And mate, which is like you're telling somebody, like,
your
mate,
body.
mate,
Right.
decim. Yeah.
So if I say like you're my decimate, it means like you're only a 10th of a friend.
You're my 10th apostle.
Excellent.
Yeah. So or you can use it, in a positive light to describe, like, if somebody says, I listened to your podcast and it was awful, You know, and be like, it inspired awe in you. Oh, that's wonderful. When really that's a completely defunct.
When really you'll be taking down their dress that you can slash up their tires at night.
Yeah, but it's generally used, to undermine. You see it often used to undermine someone's argument or their character based on the language they use. You know, saying like, "Oh, I can't believe you would say that." Like.
That's good. No, well done.
Just okay.
It's just
legit
soaking
cut
in.
this part.
It's so no. I like it. Like so, for example, if you said like, let's make a treaty, and then I would say, well, I prefer Earl Grey.
Man.
Because like tree tea, like a
here's
tea
an
made
example.
of tree.
Here's an example, right? Okay, so I I can draw. I'm pretty good at it. I should really practice more, but I was basically like talking to somebody. Here's the piece of info. I'm left-handed, and I was like just saying, they didn't know I could draw. They saw me drawing, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I can be quite dexterous when I need to be. And he felt then like the person I was with, which is my friend James. He felt the need to tell me that the word dexterous was actually inappropriate. Because it comes from the root word dexter, which means the right. It means right-handed, right hand side. That's what it used to mean. And he said the correct word, which is archaic, which would be sinistrous, which for some reason it's like the word sinister. It meant left, or it meant it could mean something ominous or bad. However, that's a total etymological fallacy because. The current meaning of dexterous, it just means articulate with the hands in either way.
So if, for example, you were working and you had a lot of rubbish packaging and you were filling up a machine designed to compress that into a smaller parcel to be taken away, and someone said that you looked quite melancholy and baleful, and then you'd say, no, there's still plenty of space inside this baler.
I just can't. You're the worst.
Is that
co-host. Correct? I don't even know. I didn't even understand it.
Because baleful, and you're filling a baler.
Well, like here's another example. Okay, like the word hysteria or hysterical. It means hysteria is a group confusion. Hysterical means, when you could be laughing at like a degree where you can't control yourself. These are both very like you kind of unique words that are succinct. They have a meaning, but the root origin of the word is the Latin hystericus, and before it the Greek hystera, which meant of the womb, like and it was an illness, like hysteria would mean like an illness of the womb, and it kind of became a way to then describe women who were and kind of write off their behavior as hysteria, and that's how the word evolved. And at some point, it lost the very common meaning, and became more generic, and can be applied to anybody, And some people will say this is a
okay.
This what?
Sorry, I'm getting a message from our producer. He's saying we have to cut the segment.
Yeah, and move it along. Cut the whole segment from the start.
No. Keep the segment. He's just saying we've got to keep the pace up.
Yeah, well, luckily I was almost at the fucking end, and you just interrupted.
No, he's saying we've got to move on. Sorry, there's not going to be time to finish.
So I'm saying I understand criticism of a word like that, but it has a very current, common meaning in context.
Yeah, I know. Apparently, our sponsors are on the phone, and they're saying they're going to cut the contract.
So I was listening to another podcast actually, and it was Vsauce talking about. Because he's a fucking know-it-all.
Yeah.
Hi, it's Michael from Vsauce. So he's a know-it-all. And he was saying how somebody was talking about, I can't remember what it was. Somebody was talking about electrocuting. And he was saying, the word electrocute strictly means when somebody dies from, being electrocuted. But that's obviously just fallen out of like common usage. And you're being electrocuted, you can get a little shock.
I thought that was a Pokemon. Select a buzz.
I thought you were talking about execute.
I think I got them both confused. That would be a sick crossover, though.
Yeah.
Electrocute.
Anyway, jingle.
New.
So, all that being said, thank you very much for the scientific method, aka precautionary principle, aka infoblast,
AKA, look up etymological fallacy. It's very interesting.
Yeah, but unfortunately, our producer is literally looking at me like we're about to get killed. Producer,
We don't have a what are you talking about? You're the producer, Dave. You're looking
Yeah.
at me like
I'm
you're
looking
about
at
to
you.
hurt me.
I'm trying to help the audience out here, but really, if you don't shut up, I'm going to end you. So, with that all being said, thank you very much. We will move on to the next segment of our show, which is Game Corner.
Games give me life.
Ba-dun, dun, dun, dun.
Ready to play.
Ba-dum.
Games. I love games.
I love games. PS1, PS2.
I like
PS3.
I like
PS4.
games. I like analog
play.
games. I like 2-player games. I like puzzle games.
2D, 3D.
I like 2D. I like 2D. I like 3D. All the Ds.
Chiptune. I like 8-bit, 16-bit.
I like the 64-bit.
Pac-Man, Mario.
128-bit is the furthest I'll go.
Yeah, I'm a purist.
I like Pikmin. I like Pac-Man.
I like Escape from Monkey Island.
Yeah.
LucasArts is my favorite studio,
I never played
bro.
Escape to Monkey Island, but
Guybrush Threepwood.
huh?
Guybrush Threepwood. AKA the protagonist of Escape from Monkey
Well,
Island.
okay, I never played Monkey Island.
Yeah, well, there you
But
go.
my friends told me about it, and I at school, and I went to a game, or what it was called Electronics Boutique with my parents, and I looked literally for an hour for this game on PlayStation. It was not on PlayStation, and
PC.
I just wouldn't accept that it wasn't on PlayStation.
It's not on
It was on
PlayStation.
PC.
I don't play it.
And but they were always talking about how you can do insults in the game, and I was like, there was an ultimate insult.
Yeah.
Dave's looking at me like none of this is going to make the cut.
I mean, I don't think you're going to make the cut at this point. It's going to be just me and edit you out completely.
Can you
I mean,
just
Gion's going to
can you just edit it so I sound like I'm far in the distance?
No, I'll edit it so you sound interesting.
How are you going to do that?
Self-roast.
How are you going to do that?
Oh, crazy. But no, Game Corner. Would you like to introduce the game of the week?
I don't know nothing.
Do you remember the game?
Oh yeah,
It's called
the game is
Reddit or
called-
Write-Off.
It's called Is It the Future Yet?
It's called Reddit or Write-Off, aka Does It Have a Reddit?
Yeah, does it have
Not
a Reddit?
sponsored by Reddit.
The game does it have a Reddit, and you can play it at home.
You can play along if you want.
Anyone can actually play at any time. You don't have to. But when the podcast's over,
So the name
we
of
own
the
the
game
rights.
is, well, if you can't figure it out, then you're probably not smart enough to listen to this. Basically, does it have a Reddit? Think of a thing or a following, and does it have a Reddit?
Yeah.
You could say something
You can kind of
completely
think of anything.
far and out there, like Gregorian chanting.
Yeah,
Does it have a Reddit?
let's find out. Gregorian chanting. Reddit. Sorry, the Wi-Fi is terrible in the dirigible.
Yeah.
I think it's because Evangeline Lizzie is using up all the Wi-Fi.
Ooh.
Like,
Well, we'll be finding a new intern soon. so that's
WTF,
fine.
mate. Yeah, well, yeah. You'll watch this space for yourself.
Yes, our Gregorian chants, with a total of 157 subscribers, with 4 of them online.
Did you look that up before?
No, I did not.
No, you did not.
Here's
Oh,
one
wow.
from 18 days ago. 39 days ago, a Russian Gregorian chant.
Are you planning to play it?
Yeah.
Are you going to edit it in? Then? This is better than the podcast.
We should just have this in the background. I'm gonna move it around. Ooh.
Oh shit! It does have a Reddit.
Yeah, Gregorian chanting, the Reddit.
Okay.
So that's 1-0.
So the game is you want to you don't win if it has a Reddit because you want to test the test the grounds of
It's like
what
Rule 34.
what kind of if you
But
go
more family
if you go-
friendly.
if you go yes exactly very good Dave.
Thank you.
Very good. So if you go out there, there's less of a chance, but you could get a real, outside chance of it having a Reddit, or you can go very safe. Like, let's go
What would you like to look for?
cable ties. Do they have a Reddit? No, there's a discussion cable ties.
Well, I typed in cable toes, so that was my first mistake. No, I have
before
gotten
cable
the
toes,
wow such empty. Wow,
No.
do they really use the Doge meme? There's nothing on Reddit. Wow.
There's a builder PC. It has a cable tie discussion.
All right.
There's
Okay, so that's
life
good.
pro tips.
We
cable
beat
tie
Reddit
discussion
on this.
Yeah. So we both won and lost.
So here's my one: cucumber sandwiches.
Okay.
Cucumber.
I just typed in cucumber sandwiches. Oh no!
No.
It appears that it is part of an overall recipes or.
It has
sandwiches
though
Reddit.
brought up our British problems, which I think is quite appropriate because that's a very British sandwich, isn't it? Side note: cucumber sandwiches. Bin it off?
Yeah, definitely bin them off.
Yeah, bin them
Love
off. Good
cucumbers.
man.
Hate cucumber sandwiches.
Absolutely.
I think that
that
everybody can get on board with
Chip
that.
those sandwiches. Sorry.
So I just seen cucumber cake. I'm just.
I've actually had cucumber and chocolate cake, and it was delicious.
Okay, well, vegetables. Do they have a Reddit?
Oh, obviously, that's
Well, yeah, you would think so, right? Reddit vegetables, vegetable gardening. It has a Reddit, however, it's very inactive. 4 users here now. Actually, no, I'm wrong.
Tonight's reg dinner. Fat people hate veggies.
Benefits of papaya. The vegetables that elite athletes
My
swear
personal
by.
favorite is our vegetables in tutus.
Our vegetable.
And,
Wait, does that have a Reddit? Or just that's the thread?
There's a. We'll put this picture.
Oh, it's a
Well,
picture
maybe
of
not.
Moss. It's a picture of Richard
Morris
Ayoade
Moss as a piece
Morris
of broccoli.
Moss as a broccoli. Somebody explained the joke to me.
260 days
There
ago.
is definitely
so it's clearly
like,
a very
some
active.
wordplay.
I think it's because his
behind
hair
that.
looks like broccoli.
Is that transparent?
Dear oh dear. Okay, your turn. Was it my turn?
Cumin. Does it have a Reddit?
Cumin or cumin? Is it cumin or cumin?
Cumin.
Don't do that. There is our cumin. 15 subscribers.
No, really? What?
Yep.
Oh, you spelt it right.
CUMIN.
Has its own Reddit.
Has its own Reddit.
I
Our
can't-
cumin.
Oh wow. Okay. Well.
On the subject of spices that we can't pronounce correctly, I was making a vegetarian what's saag paneer. I was making a vegan saag
Oh,
paneer.
yeah. It had to be vegan sag.
Yeah, and I used a spice called turmeric, and for my entire life I thought it was turmeric.
I mean, I've said.
But there's an R in it.
It has an R.
TURM.
Yeah, but I think it's like a silent. Is it a
Term.
silent R?
It's turmeric.
Are you sure? Are you just reading it, or have you looked it up?
I haven't looked it up. No, but it's turmeric, not turmeric. And I was
I
mind
thought
blown.
the whole point is that it sounds like look. Okay, how to pronounce turmeric? Oh.
But there's an R in it.
Yeah, well, you know, that words aren't always pronounced the way that.
Sometimes
That's the whole
everything
reason
is
that
not
there
as
is
it seems.
a YouTube channel called Pronunciation Book.
Yeah,
The funny thing,
bin that off.
here's my most common. I sometimes say mispronunciation. In fact, I've often said mispronunciation.
Wow.
Pronunciation, does it have a Reddit?
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, I put probounciation. So
I mean, I don't know if I'm searching incorrectly.
Oh, come on.
I'm using Yahoo search. That might be an issue.
I'm using Ask Jeeves. It's not live.
It's not live. Pronunciation on the Gwent Reddit.
There is no R pronunciation.
There's a pronunciation.
There is R
guide
linguistics.
on the Gwent, the Witcher card game Reddit. Shout out to Gwent.
Shout out to Gwent.
Shout
Shout out to Gwent House.
Shout out to the Northern Realms.
Gwent House is the name of a block of flats on my road.
Yeah, Gwent House. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
legit.
Gwent House.
I've seen it.
Yeah, it's a
What do you
thing.
say on your road?
What's off
You
my
don't
road.
live in a house on land though.
Sorry.
'Cause
We hovered over it once.
You've just broken
spied it.
through the fourth wall there a little bit.
It was off of Anecdote Alley. When
It
we were
was
back there in the
yeah.
studio.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anecdote is just off Anecdote Avenue.
Yeah, Gwent House.
It's called Ratamalode.
Yeah. What you might not realize is once we started the Anecdote Alley Avenue segment, we did have to, of course, fly the dirigible over to Anecdote Avenue so that we could do the recording and then
Once
fly
we
back.
started the Anecdote Alley segment, a bunch of other people decided to open up shop on the where on the location, and now that's why there is now an Anecdote Avenue and a
we
Story
are
Street.
immersed in quite a vicious turf war.
Ironically, even though it is an alley, it was the first street name in the entire area.
Absolutely. Okay.
Personality, does it have a Reddit?
I don't know. It's an interesting question. Maybe we
Personality tests.
Maybe
have
we
a
should
Reddit.
talk
There you
about the Reddit a bit before we just go straight to the lookup.
go. Yeah.
Maybe so.
I don't know, my-
what would
my
be on a
attention span
personality
is-
Reddit? What would they include? Different personality.
Yeah, different
builds?
personality types.
How to like change your
INFP
personality?
or whatever those
should
things
you
are.
change your personality?
If you don't like it, then
I think
why
you
the
should
hell
always
not?
like yourself, even if yourself
Yeah,
is
but
not
what if
the
you're a
personality
dick?
that you want.
What if you're a complete tosser?
Well, then you should be dead.
You shouldn't change
you
your
shouldn't
personality.
change your personality. You should
If you
just
don't like it,
change
you
your
should end it.
living scenario to
Yeah.
not being alive.
You've got one chance.
Yeah, but if you're not a dick and you should
got
like your personality,
One shot.
you got
Do not
spaghetti
miss
on
your
your
chance to
spaghetti
go.
already.
This opportunity
Spaghetti.
comes once in a lifetime.
Okay, spaghetti. Does it have a Reddit? Sorry, spaghetti. Reddit or write off? We haven't been writing them off.
Alexa, does spaghetti have a Reddit?
I don't understand that says fraying. I've lost the ability to speak.
Don't be a dick.
Ironically, I know that you haven't plugged in Alexa because I gave it to you.
Yeah,
So
that was my
Alexa's
Christmas
never going to
present.
answer.
Yeah. Alexa, plug yourself in.
Set yourself up.
Alexa, go kill yourself. Well, it probably
Oh.
does say something witty back to you if you say, Alexa, go kill yourself.
So go kill yourself. It's just like, you first.
Yeah.
At least I have something to live for.
Don't joke about that.
So what was it?
What were we
Reddit
looking
or
for?
write off?
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Yeah, but does it
Yeah,
have a Reddit?
does it have a Reddit?
Reddit or write off?
Reddit or write off?
I mean, it might be a part of a larger Italian cooking.
Spaghetti.
Reddit.
Our spaghetti with 311 subscribers, zero
There's-
online.
There's our spaghetti. There's spaghetti policy. There's
Top posts.
spaghettis
from
for nerds. Spaghettis that matter.
When you are sad, but you are made of spaghetti. That is horrifying. It's a man made of spaghetti who looks very sad.
Oh, that is depressing to look at.
Yeah, that's my
He-
boy.
He can feel the fleeting nature of his.
That's my
of his
boy
life.
Jim Tortellini. He looks real sad.
Jim Tortellini.
Yeah.
Tony Ravioli.
Yeah.
We really need to stop using cultural stereotypes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like is it racist?
we rely on
That
it
could be
as
our
part
next
of
week's.
IQ. Yeah,
next
is it
week's-
racist?
Is it racist?
But we can't really be the judges of that. I think we've
No.
demonstrated.
We don't have a wide enough demographic to really be the judge of that. But
Okay.
we'll
Bolton
try our best.
Bolton Municipal Golf Club. Does it have a Reddit?
Baltimore.
No, Bolton.
Bolton.
You know, like Peter Kay. Bolton.
No, I think the private golf club might have a. Nope.
In fact, having said that, it doesn't appear that there is no Bolton Municipal Golf Course.
They don't even have a Reddit.
They've got. I mean, the closest
Write
thing is
off.
Regent Park Golf Course.
That's a write-off.
That is a Reddit write-off,
Written off by Reddit.
and that cannot pass. That has not passed. Wow.
So, I think we'll move on to our final.
Can we just? I want one good. I
our
just want
final
one good
Reddits
one.
each.
I just want one good
Do you
one.
want to have a minute to think about it
Can
while
we-
I discuss one?
No, I've got one.
You've got one?
Yeah.
Okay, give me it.
Amethyst. Does it have a Reddit?
Amethyst. Okay, so I'm gonna let me okay.
We've-
Why don't you look it up and I'll give my guess. Like, does it have a Reddit or not?
Okay.
Okay. So amethyst. I feel like minerals will have a Reddit, rocks and stuff, rocks and such. Sorry, minerals.
Okay.
Not
This is
rocks,
how we
Marie.
should have played the game from the start.
This is how we should. So
and
amethyst,
written them out first.
the specific rock of amethyst. No, it does not have a Reddit.
I can tell you that Amethyst does indeed have a Reddit,
Oh,
but there's only 23 readers.
Oh, okay.
And yeah,
So does it really have a Reddit?
the threads say there's a thread that's called Amethyst gives no fucks,
Oh,
and there's a thread that's called All Hail My Purple Baby, and it goes through to an anime picture of an anime character based on Amethyst, I think.
wow. Fantastic. Okay.
Okay.
So amethyst, I was wrong.
So is it time for your last?
Yes,
last one?
that is correct. And my final Reddit will be filing cabinets.
Filing cabinets.
So no, don't you look it up.
Oh my god. Okay.
You have to. I'll look it up.
Okay.
You have to tell me whether you think.
I think they have. I think that there'll be. I think that there'll be a Reddit for, like storage, office storage, and like filing. Or there could be a Reddit for filing, or like Dewey Decimal or something. It's not the same thing, but like there's like an organization Reddit, and then when you look at it, then there's a sticky thread, and it's about filing cabinets, and it's super cute.
So yes or write off or Reddit filing cabinets.
Write off.
It is in fact a write off.
It is in fact. Okay, thank God.
Wow.
Well, okay.
Such empty, such good.
Now we've played Reddit or write off. We've learned a lot, and
Yes.
we know exactly how we're gonna play next time.
Yeah, so when we never play this game again, we'll know exactly how to do it.
Yeah, the next time when it comes around on the rotation, which we all know that it will never
ever come around again. But we've learned a lot. I hope you have too. We learned that filing cabinets don't have a Reddit. We learned that cucumber cucumber sandwiches don't have a Reddit. Neither do cable ties.
We've learned that to not to repeat ourselves in this podcast, because you weren't just listening.
Yes.
You out there.
But dun 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 dun.
Game over. Thanks for playing.
But
What's that? So one thing about this podcast, there's significantly less voices in this podcast. Can we change that in post?
what, that between there's no guest stars?
I mean, alternate voices.
Well,
yeah. I mean, unfortunately,
if I'm
we
telling you
had
the
no-
truth,
had no
based
guest.
on the amount of incursions we've had recently, I did lock the door. Which is also why you haven't been able to leave every time you've
When you
gotten
said
up and
that,
tried to
do you
get
mean
out.
the door? You locked the door into the open air.
Yeah, but also into the sound booth.
Well, we'll put some funny voices in post.
I've locked the hatches.
Just yeah.
Well, I mean, you say that, we probably, if they've got to this point and we don't have any funny voices, we're probably not going to add any.
In fact, we've got to go.
Yeah.
We've got to go actually.
Yeah, we're getting up there. I mean, our imaginary producer that I made up is looking at me like we have to really cut the show down.
He's always constantly throughout the entire show. He's just like
He's
putting his
looming
hand
over my shoulder.
he's making a line over his like neck. Like
Yeah.
Like
And in fact, I'm actually looking at him,
cut this,
and it looks more like he's actually got a raisin stuck in his throat, and he is in fact choking. So I'm going to go give him the Heimlich maneuver.
Come on, Lizzie. Come on, Evangeline, Lizzie.
Evangeline.
Come on, Evangeline. No, that's no. We don't want you to
We
do
don't
the
want you to
Heimlich.
speak. We want you to
Do the abdominal
just make
thrust.
actions. Go punch him in the stomach. Wow. Okay. So, with that being said, thank you very, very much for listening.
Can I just say?
listen,
Can I just say?
yeah.
While you were saying, I specifically waited for you to start.
So you could cut me off.
That we were on hiatus. We're always like about 4 weeks behind on our schedule of putting these podcasts out. So
Yeah.
we actually didn't skip. We actually didn't skip a week of recording. It just took us a while to put them out.
I just didn't edit it because I just was like CBA.
We've
We've actually got about 15 shows in the bank at any one given moment, but I have to edit them, and I'm a lazy editor. So
You need to eat a meal before you expel.
you got to take me out to dinner.
You
first.
got to eat a podcast before you then expel the 3 podcasts ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I just want everyone out there just to take a moment not to don't look at your phone. Don't think about what that thing was that you were about to, that new tab you're about to open. And just check in with your body and your breathing and how that's feeling. And you want to start at the base and the tips of your toes. And just check in with each part of yourself.
Deep.
Fuck you, headspace. You could suck my dick, headspace.
Thanks again to the Bean Thieves, stealing coffee beans and marginalizing innocents since 2005.
Yeah, they'll be on shelves soon. Borrow bean.
On shelves in the black market.
They'll be on shelves soon. You won't be able to buy them.
Tony Beanman will be selling them out of his boot.
You got to catch them because they're always on the move.
Make sure that you leave your larder fully closed because they'll steal your beans as well. They're
Okay.
bean bandits. They're still your beans and sell them back to the farmers.
But anyway, the moral of the story is don't turn your brain to mush.
No. Don't turn your ear into mush. Don't listen to a single word that we say because it's all either lies or just not generally useful.
Go take a big fat brain enema right after this, and you'll feel much better.
Yeah, pretty much.
And just we love you all.
We love you.
We've had so many good responses, and even more bad ones.
Yeah, lots
But
of
so
bad
many
responses.
good ones.
But we
though.
take the good and we take the bad. And just know that if you did give us a
we
bad
take them
comment,
both together, and there you have the facts.
if
of
you did give us a bad comment, we will find you.
life. Yeah, we're working our way through.
Yeah. So that's it. Thank you.
Bye everybody.
Thank you very much.
See you later. See you.
Thanks
next
again
week.
to Evangeline Lizzie, the worst intern.
Thanks to our team.
Once again, please write in if you are interested in becoming our intern. The pay is terrible and we'll treat you like shit.
Shout out to unemployment. Good night. Good night.
Bye.
Bye everybody.